this ATV shed a little bit. In the winter, throw all kinds of junk in here and it just gets all piled up. And I got to start up the Suzuki. Here's the bag that had the chain in it. The wraparound bumper kit for the Scandic. Maybe I'll get motivated to install that. Passenger seat for the Scandic. Scandic cover. Need to get 2 more covers for the Summit and the Polaris. My big concern with that is $360, and the bears probably shred them. This is another cargo box. Instead of putting the passenger seat on, you can clip this on top of the Scandic. Just another storage compartment. Got a bag up top. And a big compartment. Might have some junk inside here too. Let's see what we got in there. Nope, empty. So this compartment, I got that just in case I need to make a run to town and bring back a bunch of groceries. I can fill up both of them, and I could probably get enough groceries in there for about a month. Or whatever else I need to get in town. have quite a few things to do to get ready for spring. Our spring around here is generally about 3 weeks long. We're going to go from muddy and brown to lush green, all in a period of about 3 weeks. So it's March 29th, and spring is right around the corner, within the next month. I'll be going back to work, and when I come back, I want the water catchment system up and running, so I'm going to round up the parts today. It's still a little bit windy to be messing with that, but I'll round up everything that I need to reinstall that. Got to get underneath the cabin and fasten the hose back up to the bottom of the cabin. I had to reroute it last year when I put a new water pump in there. If I leave it hanging down, the critters can start chewing on it. So, haven't had a whole lot of critter movement up here. Very few signs of any movement whatsoever. Nothing on trail camera. It's been like nothing. So I'll get the gutter system, I'll get that hose done, and I'm gonna run down the trail right now on the Scandic and put the trail cards back in the trail cameras so they can take pictures of nothing. So, beautiful day out today other than the wind. It's 27 degrees. So it's going to be nice in the summertime when I can just turn the faucet on and off. Of course, there's my switch for the water pump. That's underneath the cabin. I don't leave it on. I turn it on and off as I need the pump. So yeah, it'll be nice to have a functioning sink again. Filtration system underneath the cabinet here. So I have this water filtration system underneath the cabinet. That directly feeds the sink. There's also filters outside. It's almost getting to the point where I don't need the wood stove during the day. The sun is hitting this brown on the cabin and warming up to 70, 75 degrees just with that, and the residual heat from the wood stove. So speaking of the wood stove, it actually needs a cleaning. I need to shut this down in the next couple days. I need to let this fire burn out and run a chimney sweep up and down that stovepipe. I'm noticing that the drawl isn't as it should be. So yesterday I got my bear spray out and my air horns, and hopefully I don't have to use it again this year. Several times a year I'll use the air horns. It seems to work most of the time. Some bears it doesn't phase at all, but other ones, they'll, as soon as they hear it, they take off running. So I'll take a spare battery with me and my cards. I still have a couple cameras out that I haven't checked, but I don't believe they'll have much of anything on it. It's a camera out over there, and then one down that back path to the left on a trail by the rocks. So another thing I need to do is get wire put back up around the porch. That way the electric fence, I can turn that on and off at nighttime in the summer. So some of the parts I need are behind the shower sauna, and the snow's pretty deep. Let me get back there and pull that stuff out. That's the actual gutters themselves and some of these downspouts. So the cabin needs to be painted again this year. I got the paint here. Just need the temperatures to improve to where I can put another coat on this. Generally the paint in these conditions last about 2 years, and then you have to repaint again. A bunch of my shutters are getting really dried out, so I need to get them sealed up with some more paint, and probably sand these edges down a little bit, kind of square them back up. So the front of this, where the solar panels are at, that needs paint real bad. Not this year, but next year I plan on rebuilding the porch. I'll probably move this out another probably 4 feet. I haven't really totally made up my mind on that. I kind of like it where it's at. Gives me less porch to shovel. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. I really don't need a bigger porch, so I'll probably end up keeping it this size. Yeah, this porch is getting pretty old, and it's time to be redone. When I go back to work this time, I need to make sure all the seats are off the snow machines. Otherwise, when I come back, they'll be all chewed on by the bears. Put probably all 3 of them underneath this back porch. It's starting to get icy. I gotta run down and get some more wood. This snow is about 6 foot deep. Here, I'll demonstrate it for you. Good to go. Okay, that's a joint. See this one? That one's cracked there, but that's not that bad. Just hit that with a hot glue gun. Snow's fine now. It's still like 27 degrees, but as soon as it gets like 40 degrees, start punching through. It's the worst time of the year for getting around in the spring when the snow gets real punchy. It doesn't even matter if you're wearing snowshoes or you're going through. So the outhouse, that was totally buried again this morning because of the high winds last night. We had about 35-mile-an-hour winds all night long. Didn't let up at all. workshop to find the gutter parts. The fun part, trying to find the gutter parts, and hopefully they're not back over here. They should be in some black bags. Well, unfortunately I just threw everything into this trash can. It's got all the plumbing supplies in it. This is the wrong answer, but that's what I did. I thought I put everything in the black bags like this. Yeah. I know what happened. I probably needed these bags and I dumped them out in there so I could use the bags to move something. All right, let's drag this out. Count of everything that I need. 13 on each side. I need 26. Six of these. That's 13. Oh, got them all. Now some of them are bent though, like this one here. This one's actually not that bad. I could use a heat gun on that. Straighten it back out. This one here is bent a little bit also. Not bad. So I can still see the chalk line that I put on there a couple of years back. So another reason I'm putting these up right now is they actually have some rain in the forecast for 5 days from now. Hopefully I get it. One problem with filling up the cisterns with rainwater this time of year, it still gets cold enough to freeze during the night. So every evening I'll come out and I'll drain all the water out of the system and hope that the cisterns don't freeze solid. But if they do, I have an immersion heater. I can set an immersion heater down there, crank up a generator, and melt the water in the cisterns. Summer, when I have all the construction materials out here, I want to design something with all these brackets on a board, so I can just take the board down and then slide it underneath the cabin. At least that's the plan. That or some type of hinge where I can hinge it underneath and secure it up underneath. Giving me problems here. Oh, come on. Well, maybe we'll just leave that alone. try to get this up there without much issue. Run down and get some more wood for tonight, but I'll get this stuff split. Feed the fire right now, then we'll run down the hill, do the trout carts, and probably cut one tree down. All people killed, white spruce. Already standing, dead, ready to burn. Snow right here is still like 3 feet deep. Here's actually my my chopping block, beginning of the winter. before I bring a full sled of wood over to this hill, this is the ramp. Anytime there's winds, this gets filled in. It tilts me this way, wants to send me back down the hill, so dig out this side so that this ski here rides in a trench. So that's what I got to do before I go get the wood. So that's the problem with that sled too. It only has the ice skeg on it. It doesn't have the runners. So it only works good on ice. Once I get the full runners on there, that sleigh will track behind the snow machine. But right now what it's doing, it'll slide off to the left as soon as I go down here. So that sled needs to ride in this track too. So get the shoveling again. I shoveled this out yesterday, but we had those crazy winds last night. But like I said, I just need to dig a trench for that right-hand ski. It only takes a couple minutes. All right, that should do it. That right hand ski right up against this and I'll be fine. Here. We've got 3.5 feet now. See, this snow has settled. All right, let's see what we got here. Battery good. Battery and date good. All right. Yeah. Warm. This one's on. Aim this one a little bit better down this trail. All right, good to go.